Hello, guys. Welcome to this week's community call. And in this community call, we're going to be discussing distractions. So, distractions are often something that we all miss. At the end of the day, they take us away from the direction that we're heading one way or another. And that is how they take away our energy, our purpose. They obviously distract us. So, if your trading results aren't consistent, it might not be your strategy. It might be your distractions. And that is obviously what we're going to talk about today. Distractions are the hidden killers of consistency. So often it is the distractions that you don't see that are the ones that are doing the most damage. So
Yeah,
we'll obviously discuss real life distractions because distractions aren't just in trading, there are distractions in life as well. So distractions in real life, such as your phone notifications, distractions while trading. So we'll obviously run through what that might be, and then we're going to obviously help you cut the noise, avoid those distractions, how to deal with them. So, Ayrton, do you want to run us into real life distractions? So,
I would
what are
love
some of
to.
those?
So yeah, I think when you said hidden killers of like consistency, that is bang on because I was about to interject and say that they are the silent killer. Like you often don't see distractions coming, and that's because I'd say they're very much part of just normal life nowadays. So my first 2 points that I have written down are going to be phone notifications and people and environment, and these are the exact two that I was going to say are silent because the people you probably hang around with, depending on your age of whoever's watching this, are probably the people you grew up with. So you might not have even had a say in that. They might have just been the people that attended the same school. And because of how they act in their real life, that's distracting you from what you want to achieve without you even knowing it. Like every time you go to hang around with people, they're people who want to do other things. They don't have that same desire. Whereas if you switched, like the people in our group right now, to hanging around and talking to people who are trying to get to that same level, then you've cut that distraction out. You're now distracting yourself with people who want to get to the right level, and it no longer becomes a distraction. It becomes like a push to get you over the line and get you moving to where you want to get. So it can even be family. If you're in uni, it could be flatmates. Um, so a good quote here: if you're not treating trading like a job, they won't either. So if you're not fully in on this trading, if you're not changing your environment, not changing how you interact with your phone to suit trading, then the people around you won't change, your phone won't change, and this will just create a secular cycle, if you will, that is a negative feedback loop. Every single thing you do will negatively impact the other, which negatively impacts your trading. So you've got to not necessarily cut people out, but you've got to manage your time with people differently. You've got to find different people. So, like for the people watching this, that's exactly what you're doing. Um, the other two things I have written down are lack of routine and mental distraction. So for routine, if you're someone who wakes up late, um, if you skip your pre-market routine, if you have one, or you're just not structured in the day at all, this is a distraction. And I'm not telling everyone you have to wake up early. Like that's not what you have to do. If you trade at like 2 p.m. in the afternoon, depending on where you are, then I'm not saying you need to wake up at like 6 o'clock every day. That's not what we're saying. What you need to be doing is having a consistent wake up time and a reason to wake up. This way, you just get it in your mind that that's the person you are. You're the person who wakes up on time. You're the person who wakes up and has stuff to do. You're not the guy who just lies about doing this, that, and the other. Now, when you're a full-time trader and you've got all that money in your account and you trade at 2 p.m., maybe it's not the end of the world, but right now you're trying to change who you are into the person you want to become. So you need to have that discipline. The other one is mental distractions, arguments, money stress, and lack of sleep. These can be big things, especially money stress. If you're someone who's looking get into trading, usually it's because you're someone who is seeking more money. Now, this is a good thing and a bad thing. So, um, it's a good thing because you're driven. You have a reason to get to where you want to get. You're not just like, oh, I might try this trading thing, see what happens. You have a reason to want the outcome of being a good trader. But the negative is that you are trading for money, whereas money doesn't, or trading doesn't reward you with money. It rewards you with a skill. You have to want to master the skill rather than make the money. So these are all distractions that we need to switch your mindset on to turn them into motivators and consistent factors of discipline.
Very well said. So that is a very good list of real life distractions. Now, it's one thing I wanted to say before we move on to trading distractions. So, and that is, I want you guys to pay attention to everything we're saying, obviously, so you can understand it. But the reason I say it is I want to see if you guys spot a common theme, something that isn't necessarily to do directly with distractions, but it's something that links distractions altogether. So I'm gonna say it again after I've explained what distractions can be whilst you're trading, and I will explain my point there. So, distractions while trading. Well, there are many distractions while trading. So, obviously, like Ant said, we have those, you might have flatmates or parents, brothers and sisters, etc., etc. But I'm more talking, for example, having so many pairs to look through. So, for example, there are strategies out there that trade 28 different pairs, you know. That is going to have a lot of distractions. Even if you're looking at four different pairs, you're going to find distractions very often. You're going to find that one pair distracts you from another pair. Maybe even spend remotely, 30 seconds too long on one pair. You might then be distracted just enough to miss something on another, etc., etc. So that's obviously going to throw you off. So you're more likely to be overwhelmed with more pairs. And this is why obviously pretty much everyone ever always says just focus on one pair, one time, one strategy. So you're not just a machine. You have to obviously pick your focus and just master it. It's as simple as that, really. Kind of a similar thing, jump in between strategies. Same way if you jump in between loads of different pairs, you're obviously going to be finding it harder to lock in on one. So if you jump in between different strategies, well, first of all, even to get into that point, to that process of jumping strategies, you have to be distracted in the first place. Because if you're even thinking about it or doing it, it's because you've been distracted from the initial one and now you're doing it. Now you're distracted, acting on that, and you're choosing something else. So whatever it may be, mastery comes from a repetition, not randomness, and that's what I've got wrote down here. So you got to understand that if you're being distracted from the mastery of one thing, you're not actually mastering that at all. So mastery comes from focusing, not being distracted. Another thing is overanalyzing, chart hopping. I kind of already said chart hopping, but obviously if you're looking for confluence that isn't there, or maybe you're trying to add extra indicators. I mean, me and Ash have definitely been there, adding extra indicators in particular. You always think that sometimes this indicator may be the little edge in the market, even an indicator as simple as, I don't know, a session indicator or a high time frame candle indicator. At the end of the day, they don't make a difference. They don't make a difference at all. But obviously, it might help a little bit, but it can still be a distraction. Sometimes we've had our indicators be set wrong, and that has actually caused us to do something wrong. So you've got to understand that at the end of the day, simplicity is key. And the more things you're adding to the chart, if you have a whole list of indicators, there's a likelihood one of them is likely to distract you at some point. So clarity is found in the simplicity. How cool is that? So not stacking more tools. Now, trading news when you didn't plan to. Okay. So if you're getting sucked into trading when there's high impact news, so for example, today is a Wednesday, the 18th of June. Today's FOMC day, and tomorrow is a bank holiday. Well, these are probably two good trading days to potentially sit back and maybe not take any trades, be very cautious. So let's say it was NFP half one today, which it wasn't, but let's say it was, and I had a good setup at maybe quarter past 1, and I didn't know those news, I wasn't paying attention. I'm kind of distracted from the fact there's a fact that there's news. Now I'm getting sucked into the volatility. I'm probably becoming the liquidity pre-news. Now, even though I might be right, news may go in my favor, I'm getting sucked into the pre-market volatility. And at that point, I'm not, I'm reacting and I'm not trading. Trading is looking at the board like we did this week, for example. This weekend, Israel attacked Iraq. Wait, Iran, sorry.
Around.
Iran. Little confusion there. Similar names. And in doing so, me and Ant came to the chart this week, being like, right, this week is going to be a very unique week because we also have bank holiday FOMC, like I said, but we have war news. So instead of reacting to everything we see, we're more trading and not taking everything we see and not allowing these distractions to affect our trading. So before we go on to section three, the last section, which is obviously how to cut out distractions, the point I was making before, and I wonder if you guys thought the same, and it's that energy is actually a lot of what trading is about, and it's about energy. So energy is very crucial to trading because I don't mean physical energy as an energy to perform well, but you have an energy in yourself. And if you're allowing people to come in, distract you, and take your energy, that's less energy on the charts. If you're allowing outside factors to come in, distract you, your phone buzzing, that's taking your energy, it's taking your dopamine, your attention. Knock, 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 attention gone. Energy, 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 all going away from your main focus. So that's how you're gonna be looking at distractions. And at the end of the day, you want your battery to be as full as possible and all your focus to be on trading. So almost think about your trading when it comes to, for example, it's an hour in the morning, we trade the silver bullet. When we come to trading that window, like and said, obviously with lack of routine, that's taking your energy before you even got to the chart. So you want to be coming to the chart, you've got your energy, you're not here with your phone, ping, 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 ping. You're not answering messages. I mean, you can answer some messages, but you're not going in depth and giving your energy to things. You're not scrolling social media. Because never mind scrolling social media, giving your energy, being distracted, etc., etc. But everything is energy. And if you're allowing yourself to be distracted, you're giving yourself away to everything which you don't. And like Etten said, although fine, maybe when you've got a lot in the bank account and you're not actually that stressed, or you're not in this position where you're trying to change, maybe fine, you can give your energy away more. But in a time of change, you have to protect your energy and control that energy. Most importantly, distractions take away your energy. So, how to cut out the noise? How to cut out distractions? Well, you have to create boundaries around your trading and your trading hours. So what this can look like is setting rules like your phone in another room or no social media during trading. Before trading is probably the one I'd recommend. You don't want to be jumping on the chart, on Instagram 5 minutes before trading and seeing, I don't know, TGR bought a new Ferrari and then come to the charts and be like, oh, and maybe that's going to affect you in a negative way. Having things in place to limit these. Personally, just put your phone down at disturb. Don't even go on your phone. Like there's no reason to go on your phone. I don't answer messages really during the silver bullet. I'm very just not on my phone. It's a simple way. Ayrton, do you want to say another one? Another way to
Yeah,
cut out the
so
noise?
I'm also going to quickly bring us back to that energy thing. I had a good way of putting it because I think that's a good way of explaining it. Is it takes energy to drive your car, like it takes mental energy and almost focus. And what is it illegal to do in pretty much everywhere I know? It is illegal to go on your phone because it is a distraction and you will be less in control of your vehicle. So trading is your vehicle. If you're not necessarily just on your phone, but if you're taking your attention away from it, you're probably going to crash your car, same way you'll crash your trading.
That's
So
brilliant.
about focus. Um, Another way to create boundary, how to cut the noise, is to reduce your chart time. So this is probably a big factor in how me and Tom trade with Silver Bullet. Our chart time is down to an hour each session. So we physically can't, by our rules, trade outside of our hours. We just have an hour to trade. If nothing happens, nothing happens. If it goes wrong, it goes wrong. If it goes right, it goes right. There's no, oh, maybe I'll hop on after London session to make my loss back. Like that's just doesn't happen. And in fact, it makes your whole day nicer because each time you need to trade, it's only an hour. You've just got to be focused for an hour. Makes it easy instead of that energy being spread out throughout the whole day and having to focus on the chart for the whole day or something, or for like 4 hours, 5 hours. It's just 1 hour. And usually, because another point I'll bring up, our rules are so refined and our system is so refined, it is very easy to know when a setup isn't happening and when it is happening. So cutting out the noise of not fully having a by the book system, that will help you. Because if your system is kind of like a bit more, what's the word, like discretional or like a lot more discretional, then it's going to be harder to know when you're trading, when you shouldn't be trading, and you'll get distracted. You'll be thinking, looking at other setups. One day you'll be trading your Asia sweep strategy, the next day you'll be trading SMTs, something like that. Like you'll start trading different things. You'll be distracted, so you got to stick to one strategy. You've got to keep that strategy dialed, and you've just got to keep it simple. And the last point that I've got here that definitely helped for me, like becoming a more consistent trader, is to use a journal. So I would say it helps because it makes you reflect on what you did, which is a very easy thing to cut out when you're making mistakes. If you made a mistake one day, we don't often want to talk about that. We kind of want to just push it down and be like, on to tomorrow, easy peasy. But if you have to journal that, if it's in your daily planner, you have to journal that and you do, you'll be able to reflect on it. You'll be able to ingrain that mistake in your head. So next time you go to make it, you'll think, hang on a second, last time I did this, I had to sit down and journal about it. Didn't enjoy that. And it went wrong anyway. So definitely start a journal if you're getting distracted and if you're taking losers that you don't quite understand.
I mean, I think all these points that we've come to just said, I think we've probably done the opposite, as in we've made these mistakes, we've had these
Yeah,
distractions affect us, and it's only through
definitely.
journaling that we've really learned that. I mean, I can't think of, I wouldn't say a lot of times I've let my phone distract me, but I can think there's been a time my phone's distracted me. There's been a time family have distracted me. There's been a time friends have distracted me. There's been times I've simply not been home. Maybe I've been at a cafe and maybe I got to the cafe and it wasn't even open when it said it would be. That in itself is a distraction. I wasn't there early enough to find that out. So many different things, and you obviously have to journal these things. And if you don't journal what is going wrong, if you don't journal what is taking your energy, what is distracting you, then you might say you've learned. You might say, oh, yes, I should get to that cafe a bit earlier to then find out you know, it's closed anyway. If you're not going to write that down or actually process that information, it's probably just going to happen again. Same way if you don't learn to maybe put your phone on Do Not Disturb, then you're not going to learn to not be distracted. It's at the point now where I don't have to put my phone on Do Not Disturb because I don't go on it anyway. So it's irregardless to whether I go on it or not. You have to journal to make yourself aware of what the problem is, create the solution, and then the solution has to be continued over time. So cut the noise for a long period of time until it becomes a habit. So remember, success, especially profitability in your trading, is just an accumulation of the right habits for a long enough period of time. And then once you cut out the noise for long enough and you're doing the right things for long enough, that is when you'll get to where you want to get to. So remember, every distraction is taking you one step further from consistency. So a way of thinking about it is in life, it's very easy for us to think that there are certain things that we do that don't matter, when in fact everything we do matters. That is either for or against where you want to be, who you want to be, what you want to become, etc., etc. So understand that every distraction takes you away from that. So you don't need more strategies, you just simply need less noise. Don't need more indicators, you need less noise. You don't need more screen time. You need less noise. Less is more in trading. It doesn't get as simple as that. So if you guys are seeing this video on YouTube, or if you're in our community and you're watching this, we want you to be honest. So if you do have something that's really distracting you right now, please do comment in the comment section or let us know. We'd love to know what is distracting you. Because at the end of the day, the thing that ultimately still distracts me and Ayrton, it happens, but not a lot. It's very rare. But yeah, whatever it is, let us know. And also let us know the problem. And then also let us know what you're gonna do to fix that. Because it's identifying the problem is one thing, but then fixing it is the next step. And then that, once you fixed it, is when the results will follow. So, anything else you want to say, Atten?
No, not really. I think Harry is actually typing a question. So whether we want to stay around on call for the YouTube so that they can see the question, or we can just answer him afterwards. I'm not too sure. What do you think? Not a
Let's see.
question, but great insights. Ah, okay. And I think
Brilliant.
we lose that discipline when we are after a streak of winning. Yeah, I think so. If you're seeking just winners, then it's really easy to get distracted because I tell you, like Tom said before, go on Instagram, you see TJR's just hit like three TPs in a row and bought a Ferrari. Yeah, that's great motivation, and we should all be consuming content like that if we're going to be consuming content. But there's a time and a place. If you're almost down bad because you've been on a losing streak, then that isn't the time to be going watching that. What you should be doing there is you should be journaling, you should be in your own thoughts, you should be studying, back testing, working on yourself, working on your trading to get yourself out of it rather than thinking, oh, hang on a second, if I put like a tenner in an account, maybe I can flip it to 700,000 and buy myself a 8-12 competition. No,
Oh,
just
like a good
work on
idea.
yourself. Almost as is it Goggins that says like you have to go in the dungeon or something like that?
Yeah.
That's
I
kind
like
of
to
what you
say
have
you
to
have to go in
do.
the gulag, the
Yeah,
Russian version.
yeah, like you just have to do that. So
Yeah.
yeah, you're very right. But yeah, I think
Yes.
that about wraps it up. So thank you guys live for watching. And thank you everyone on YouTube for watching.
Yeah,
So yeah,
appreciate it.
we're gonna we're gonna hop into the mastermind call with the traders group. So that is us done.
Peace
See you
out.
guys.